Hi, it is Rebecca Reinking, speech language pathologist, and today we're going to go through the steps to the complexity approach. Now, hopefully you've seen our other video about who is suitable for the complexity approach. This is just going to give you some more information and add some more layers so that you can determine whether this is a suitable approach for your caseload and for your service as well. Now, just for reference, we are going to be referring to the framework and guidelines that Morissette has suggested in one of my favorite speech sound disorder intervention textbooks. But if you are looking for some group or some school-based service delivery options, you might want to look at some of the other journal articles that specifically talk about this, and we'll have links to that in our profile here. Now, before we even get to step one thing that you have to know is that you do need some baseline data and information. And I'm not just talking about a single word assessment, because yes, it's awesome that we have all those sounds and we've got information on what the child is doing. I'm really referring here to a consonant cluster probe. Now, we have one that we have in our complexity approach starter kit, and there are other links below where you can get some other ones, but we really need this information because the whole point about the complexity approach is that we choose one complex consonant cluster, and we're supposed to see change triggered across the system, and hopefully other consonant clusters come through. We need evidence for this. So make sure you do your consonant cluster probe, and then you are ready for step one of the approach. Okay, step one is an imitation phase, which makes a lot of sense because we are teaching usually non-stimulable consonant clusters that are hard. So this phase, Morissette suggests, goes for about 7 sessions, and I like how she breaks down a block of therapy for the complexity approach, and she suggests about 12 weeks, which is like a school term. So you might just think about doing this for a term. For your first 7 weeks, you're going to be teaching that consonant cluster, and it is an imitation phase because this is going to be hard. And your first few therapy sessions, you might really be working on helping the child say these non-stimulant sounds, joining clusters. So that's why it is about 7 sessions, or until the child achieves 75% accuracy across 2 consecutive sessions. So if they reach that before, you would then move on to the spontaneous phase. But just know, imitation phase is going to be challenging because there is a lot that you are teaching for your student. Okay, now we move on to that spontaneous phase. So if your child has done 7 sessions at that imitation phase, knowing that this is a 12-week block, for the remainder of your 5 sessions, your child is spontaneously naming these targets. And they've got the skills now, hopefully, where they don't need your model and they're more stimulable and they can say consonant clusters. Now, if your child is still struggling, I do like how Morissette suggested you could continue working on these consonant clusters until the child reaches 90% accuracy in spontaneous naming across 3 consecutive sessions. But we really do need a high amount of accuracy for us to really see the benefits of this approach. So just make sure you keep those 2 guidelines in mind. Okay, so after you finish your block of 12 sessions, or the child has reached that 90% accuracy across 3 sessions, this is where you might take a 2 month break. Now, Morissette has suggested this as she was going through the research because we want to be able to bring out those assessments again. It might be just the consonant cluster probe, it might be a single word assessment. And we are going to be assessing that child, and we want to make sure that we've given, a couple of little weeks there, a little week break, so that we can assess and see if this system-wide change has triggered. This is why we do these assessments, because we need the proof after this block to see that change has triggered. So just make sure we are bookending our imitation and our spontaneous phase with these generalization probes, or these like baseline assessments, to ensure that this approach has done what we hope it will, which is increase intelligibility and trigger that big system-wide change in children with phonological impairments. Make sure you check out all of our dedicated links on our complexity approach page. You can look at some other journal articles, look at other materials, and just get some more video ideas on how to implement the complexity approach in your therapy.